Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Herb. It's Glenn.
Hey,
You
Glenn.
just wanted me to mention that the Yuba College Library is open today. I remember when we were on evacuation, one of the things that was frustrating was just, getting access to computers. So I know people could access the computer there. It's open to the public.
That's excellent. Thank you so much, Glenn.
Are you home, Glenn?
Yeah, I am.
How's the smoke?
It's not horrible.
It was pretty bad yesterday, and it was pretty bad when I left this morning, but maybe the wind's blowing it somewhere else now.
Well, it's worse than it was yesterday, but still not super bad. Could be worse.
I guess it's relative, huh?
Yeah. But good luck to everyone.
Yeah, what's the visibility like out there?
I can see ridges a mile away, but not much further than that.
Can you see the fire?
No, I couldn't see it yesterday or yesterday's night either.
Yeah, I was seeing it, just a kind of a faint orange glow out there by Cobb's. All right, Glenn. Well, thank you. Thanks for calling in.
You bet. Bye-bye.
So this is just a reminder that another interesting phenomenon.
Caller on line one, something weird going on, like maybe your radio is on or something. Caller, are you there?
Yeah. Listen, this is Dawn. I'm letting you know that the Seventh-day Adventist Church out here on Hill Road is open for evacuees, And there's vans and trucks loads of commodities coming in. So there's plenty of stuff here.
Seventh-day Adventist Church on Hill Road.
On 1111 Parkway, or right off the corner of Hill Road and Parkway.
In Lakeport. Okay.
It's an evacuation station, and there's just all kinds of food, clothes, whatever people need that's here.
Thanks for that.
And also at the Redwood Empire Fairgrounds in Ukiah, that's on North State Street. And we did have a caller earlier who said there was a drop-in center there for people who just wanted to have someone to talk to.
So, guys, if you don't know what's going on, there was a massive, huge fire that hit Lake and Napa counties. I think it was on the 13th, which was last night. It was either Saturday or Sunday it hit, and it's basically burned down the whole city of Middletown, California. And this is a very rural area, and this is where I grew up, and it's crazy to watch videos of where I was raised and grew up. Hold on, you guys. And see it all burning to the ground. You never ever expect to see your hometown, wherever it may be, burned to the ground. Friends, family. You might think where I live was a crappy town, a crappy county, a crappy city. It might be, but the people who live there do not deserve to have their houses burned to the ground. And my brother was like, "Hey, check this out," and he sent me a little text message saying it was burning down. So I Googled it. I was like, oh my God. Like, there's fire footage online that is real crazy. It's ridiculous how crazy this fire looks. Like, it literally looks like cars are driving into hell. There's fire burning everywhere. Schools are burning down. There's stores that are burning down. And what you were listening to before is a station out of Lakeport, California. And basically, they're trying to give anybody and everybody the information that they can, so people can get out safely. People can get to evacuation places, shelters, because you never want to have your place where you grew up pretty much wiped off the map. And one of my friends was saying, is this way of saying this town needs to, everybody needs to move out because it's so crappy and it's just a real poor community? I don't think, even if it is a poor community or it's a rich community, people don't deserve this. And hopefully it's not one of those incidents where some bozo was driving their car, threw a cigarette out the window, and started this fire, or somebody deliberately did it, because at the end of the day, that's stupid shit right there. You You never want to have somebody do this. And a lot of people get off on that shit. They see these fires, they see this stuff, and, oh my God, oh God. Like they cream in their pants because of fires like this. And like I said, this fire is over 60 miles wide. So at the end of the day, guys, if you're out there in anywhere near these fires and you're able to help, you're able to bring some water for the firefighters, or go to one of these shelters and drop off some water or some food or something, that's a cool thing. Because like I said, if I was out there, I think I would try to help, like giving some clothes, giving something back to these people who need it. But it's just a sad situation to see like your hometown just burned to the ground. And I haven't been back there since 2011, and just seeing this stuff, it's mind blowing. You never see this shit unless it's on a fucking movie, man. And when you see this, you see people just driving through town, and you see like buildings that you used to go to or restaurants you used to go to, and they're no longer there. That's sad. You know, it's just mind blowing, man, to see this kind of stuff happen. I mean, yes, California is in one of the worst droughts ever. And somebody was saying that maybe the California drought is like this because it's happened hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago, where this is a normal occurrence and it's not something that modern man is used to. Modern man's like, we've never dealt with this weird drought where California's not getting any rain or anything like that. But maybe this is what happens. We know for a fact that California is a desert, and there is, like, if you look at the salt flats, for example, the flats over in Utah, for example, those used to be lakes or oceans, and now they're just Bonneville salt flats where people go out there and test their race cars and test their cars going fast, because that's what it is. They go fast because it's just like 2 miles of salt flat road, and that used to be what California used to be. Is there's probably at one period of time all ocean, and now it's received into a lot of it's all desert. And I'm going to play something that I think is kind of crazy. Check this out.
One of the things that's been getting me lately is this water situation in California. It's pretty bad. It's 3 years going on 4 years now, and the drought is pretty ferocious. Like they're saying that California used 29% less water last month, so people are working to try to solve it. But what was occurring to me when I was thinking about this is, we know for a fact that there's areas of the world that used to be lush and then they became desert. Like we know that for a fact about the Nile Valley, like in Egypt, where the pyramids used to be, where the pyramids are rather. Before that, like 9,000 years ago, they know it was a rainforest there. And slowly over time, shit just changed, and then there's not that much rainfall. And that could easily happen in California. But would we stay? Would everybody stay here? Would they just keep pumping water artificially into the spot? Or would people go, you know what? This ain't working. This ain't working. We don't have any we got to move on. Like we've always had to, all throughout human history. Whenever the climate got bad, people get the fuck out of there. When the Ice Age was happening here, no one was living in Canada. No one was living in Canada during the Ice Age because it was 2 miles thick of ice in a lot of spots. You're not living on ice, right? You find a way to get to a place where it's not ice. You know, but all the places that were covered in ice it was a massive amount of Canada. So when all that ice receded, that's where we got the Great Lakes from. The Great Lakes are fucking puddles that are melted glaciers. I mean, that's how fucking crazy this place was just 10,000 years ago. If we had a house and it was there, you can't be stubborn. When the ice starts coming, you can't say, we're just going to keep chipping away at that ice every year. Like at a certain point in time, you got to realize, okay, there's 2 miles of ice and it's as big as fucking Canada or half of Canada or even a few states. Where those few states are, you can't live. You got to get out of there. You got to get out of there. And if that happens here, we're so arrogant. Our idea that we can control nature is so arrogant. No one considers leaving California. Like everybody talks about like, well, California's California. We got to do something about the Californian water crisis. What if it never rains again? Because guess what? That could happen. If it doesn't rain but once or twice a year or 10 times a year or 20 times a year, there have been way crazier things than a shift in our climate to the point where it rains 0. That's totally possible. It's totally possible. If it's possible to rain 1 day a year, it's possible to rain 0. If it's possible to rain 10, it's possible to rain 1. It could be horrific, disastrous. It's totally possible. And it would be normal. It would be something that's happened all throughout the world. They know that like a lot of deserts used to be like lush areas. And then somehow or another, like for whatever reason, things changed, things shifted. You know, and you can blame people all you want. And I'm sure we have a lot to do with it. I'm sure global warming, that there's without a doubt as some element of human civilization is a part of it. There's too many scientists that believe it does. There's got to be some factor. But even without that factor, it's super possible that shit would change on its own. It shifts. We don't control when it rains. It can fucking shift. It easily could shift. And if you're in a spot that sucks, you got to make a decision. You got to figure out what the fuck you're going to do. It rains more in Phoenix than it rains here.
It rains in Phoenix a lot, actually. I didn't know that. In Ohio and in Houston, look at Galveston. It's raining so much that there's shit water everywhere, and people are losing their sight because it's overfilled all the sewage. And
so, like they were saying, what happens if California never gets rain again, or it rains maybe once or twice a year? Are people really going to get up off their ass and actually go out and actually move out? Because that's a real situation, ladies and gentlemen, that people don't realize that this stuff in life happens. And you could say all you want that, okay, the drought is okay, the drought isn't real. Some people might not even believe in the drought or think about the drought, but California is one of those places that it never really rains unless Northern California, for example, it gets more rain than it does in Southern California. That's just what it is. But at the end of the day, I really think all these fires are happening either by lightning strikes, by some bozo who's doing them, or it's happening by the lack of rain. And yes, California will eventually get rain again. And if it does, are they just going to get shit tons of rain, like a foot of rain in 24 hours where they start flooding? I mean, they really need like a foot of rain or 2 feet of rain just to flood out the damn city. I mean, it sucks to say you need to flood out the city, but for all these fires that are going on, you need to get rid of something, because it's mind-blowing to me that you're seeing fires after fires after fires. They just had the Rocky Fire, which was one of the biggest fires they said that ever hit Northern California. And now you have this fire, which is like 50,000 acres in 24 hours. That's mind-blowing. So I just wanted to give my opinion on the fire, and what you were hearing. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description box. It's like a radio podcast, live radio program that I was playing in the beginning, and they're giving out information for all you people in Northern California. If you know somebody who lives in that community, actually tell them, hey, here's a place you can go, because some of these people have their first house, their house burned down. A person I know, she had her family's house burned down, and yes, it's time to rebuild and build a little tiny house or build whatever you need. But at the end of the day, you don't want your family, your friends, or even a loved one, or even an ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend to see their house burned down, because I would never want that on somebody, that they're like, hey, you're my ex-girlfriend, bitch, your house burned down. No, I don't. I want to see what they have, and I don't wish any bad on people. I mean, I might not like certain people for certain reasons, but I would never want this to happen. So at the end of the day, like I said, if you go online and you type in, I'll put videos, I'll put links above my head. It's called ValleyFire. And the reason why this place is so bad, where I used to grow up, it's so rural. It's a very rural area, like mountain environment with a lot of lush grass everywhere, but it's because of the drought, it's not green grass like it should be. It's just like that golden color, which is that dead grass that if I took a little lighter and just threw it on there, I could catch a forest on fire and like instantly. And these are all those I think they're oak trees, you know, the ones that are like Christmas trees, like pine trees. Those things burn tremendously fast, especially when you have Christmas trees and you put them out on the ground in like a fire pit. They burn so quickly. So I'm not surprised that all this lush forest and mountain environment is burned to the ground. And like I said, I used to travel these roads on a regular basis, going to work, going to see friends, and to see this stuff happen where the shit is burned down, that's fucking insane. You know, I would never want to wish this on anybody, no one's nightmare, nothing. And it's so sad when you see this, you know, like I can't really say anything more that hasn't already been said, but it's sad when you see something like you grew up and you go, hey, I used to travel that road. I used to go to that restaurant, and that restaurant that's been around since like 1940 is burned to the ground. And this community was built in 1923. So it's a really, really old community with like the old style buildings. And yeah, somebody told me, like, somebody was saying that, well, now that the town's burned down, it's going to give a lot of people jobs because they're going to come in and need a lot of people to rebuild. And yes, rebuilding a city is cool and modernizing it is nice, but you don't want to do it when people have lost their homes and lost whatever, because a lot of people will just be like, well, I'm not coming back to Lake County because this should happen, you know. Like Joe Rogan was saying, the drought is real. If you guys are in California and you don't believe the drought is real, I'm not in California. I haven't been in California since 2011. That's when the last time I visited. And like I said, I didn't really notice too much back then, but they said for 4 to 5 years, it hasn't really rained all that often, and it hasn't really done a lot. And you're seeing more and more fires because of this, because of the weird weather. And yes, people have a play in what the weather has happened. I mean, where I live in Jacksonville, Florida, it rains constantly, like every day around 2 to 4 o'clock. It literally rains like every single day. And it's something I'm used to, and now I'm used to because I lived here for so long. But for the people who aren't used to it are like, wow, it rains that much? Yeah. But when you're in Northern California, it rains during the wintertime, but usually in the summertime it doesn't rain. But they're saying even in the regular wintertime, it doesn't rain and doesn't do anything. So for all you people that are listening to this little podcast, little video that I want to throw up to you guys, I know it was a live video on Google Plus. So I just wanted to say, hopefully you guys are staying safe, staying strong, keep your heads up. Make sure, like one person said, if you're staying at your house, make sure you take your water hose and you spray the shit out of your house. You spray the water down on your house, so when the fire comes, it might not actually burn your house down. Because my dad was telling me that my grandfather did that. He watered his house down when they had a fire in San Bernardino, California, and it literally saved his house because all the other houses that didn't do that burned to the ground, and my grandfather's home was still standing because he literally was soaking his house in water. So when the flames came, they didn't burn his house down. And that's a smart thing, which a lot of people will not think of doing. They would say, I'm leaving. But like I said, there's a link in the description box that's going to take you to the radio program that I was playing in the beginning of this podcast. And what Joe Rogan was talking about, I really think is legit. That nowadays the drought is so crazy that people need to do something. I don't know if they can seed the ground, seed the sky, and seeding the sky. Sometimes, if you have the right climate, you can put like these seed. I'm not exactly sure how you do it, but you can seed the sky so it makes it rain and makes it where it can rain. So that's what California needs right now, is a lot of rain to stop these fires, to help these firefighters out. Because there was a couple firefighters that I heard that got 2-degree burns, and that's sad, man. I mean, yes, these firefighters know every time they lace up the boots and they go out there that shit can go wrong, and that's what happened. And I have a friend, she's an EMT / first responder, and she does help out with the firefighters, and she helps shoots fire. So I respect what she does. I respect what every firefighter does. They're the real heroes out there, not these weird people like superheroes. No, the real superheroes out there are the men and women who lace their boots up every day to fight fires. And that's what I respect. I respect the EMTs and the firefighters who go out there and put their ass on the line to protect somebody like me or you, because I don't have the balls to go out there and fight a fire and stand there for 8-9 hours shooting this fire at like 1,000 degrees or whatever it is. You know, I don't have the balls to do that. I never probably will. And I'm admitting that. Not everybody has the balls to say, well, I can go fight a fire and I can go protect my town. I can't. I'm just a person that just doesn't have the guts to do that. But for the men and women who are out there doing that, I respect it. So, as always, guys, thanks for listening and stopping by. And like I said, I'll put the link in the description box for the internet stream of this channel. It says it's from Lakeport, California, and they're giving information about different things. So if you're on YouTube, just click the link above my head, and you will definitely be taken to this video stream podcast. Okie dokie.